Okay, so there we are. We are live now. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to my two guests of the day, Ryan Cavalline from Legend Hunter Films, writer, director, and producer of Guts on the Chainsaw, which is a film that I had the privilege of watching about a week ago and reviewing, because Ryan kindly reached out to me. Sent me a copy of the film. I watched it straight away and done a review.
You did, and I totally appreciate that.
Which he was very surprised with. And also, we have with us Nick Carlson, who is the star of the movie, playing the character of Nova. And if anyone's interested, the movie, well, should be interested, you're watching. The movie is about this young lady who's had history in these woods. She ventures back into them to face her fears, essentially. Correct me if I'm wrong here, if my summary is a bit wrong. And there's these murderous, cannibalistic type individuals in these Pennsylvania backwoods. And the character of Nova goes on this journey of, it's a horror film. And it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I've done a review a week ago, so thank you for sending that to me. And how did you find me anyway, to get in touch with me? How did that come about, Ryan?
I follow a lot of independent filmmakers, and when I kind of follow what they do, so I watch relates and their movies for reviews. So I probably grabbed it from one of them. Yeah,
that would have been Doomsday Stories, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so this film here then. When did you come up with the idea for this movie?
When did we come up with the idea?
When we did Myths and Mutants, which was 5-6 stories based on Pennsylvania folklore.
Yeah.
The one about the albino cannibals got a bunch of attention, and we decided we were going to kind of he said we should do something based off of that. And I was in that short, so I'm like, wait, what if I go back for revenge? So here we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't. So is that the same character then that you played there as here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Well, whenever we did the first one, I was just a lost hiker in the woods, but we built a story and used that as a backstory, and it all worked out. Yeah. I think.
We tried.
Oh. No, that's really good. So this film here, it is based on a folklore that exists within the Pennsylvania backwoods, and as you were saying to me, the Appalachian Trails, where you do get, and you've done a lot of research into the missing folk or the missing people that occurs there.
Well, I was doing a lot of research on. I have this fascination with hikers that go missing because it's a big thing through Pennsylvania and through the United States. A lot of people go missing and are just never found, or within a few feet of other people, and they're go missing. So I did a lot of research, especially down in the Tennessee area. People were hiking and running across people living in the forest. Now these forests are huge; they're miles and miles and miles, and they were running into people living in the forest, and I thought that's just crazy, So Pennsylvania has a folklore of these albino cannibals living in the mountains. So it all kind of fit together. I mean, the albino cannibal stuff, there's stories of them kidnapping people and living up in these rock shanties and
shooting people with rock salt.
Yeah.
Or shooting vehicles.
So your film's based, is based around the sort of the folklore of that. So obviously this film, I mean, it's all filmed on location.
Yes.
I mean, you've got some. Is that actually really filmed within Pennsylvania, within? How much research did you do into the area going out? Because there's quite a lot of visual differences in the sort of areas used. You've got the cave system that you've utilized, the scenes where the character of Nova's being chased through.
That was actually multiple different cave locations that we combined.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there was Pennsylvania is notorious for like a lot of large boulders out in the woods and caves and what have you. The sticky part is a lot of that stuff you got to get permits for. So a lot of it was asking friends if we could shoot on their property and what have you. So it was just a multiple putting all the pieces together. Like this would fit with this and this would fit with that, and keeping the storyline going.
All right, so some sort of guerrilla filmmaking, you could say.
Extremely guerrilla. I mean, some days we'd shoot half a day because like her and I would have to go back to work.
Yeah.
So we're like, hurry up, let's go shoot this scene. We'll come back and then we'll go back to work and what have you.
So how long did the whole shoot take for you to do?
Jeez,
I think before we did the behind the scenes stuff, probably about 14 days, 12 to 14 days.
Okay, yeah.
But it was like over a 3-month period, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a liking for the horror genre then?
I do. Do you?
I used to be really into horror films, and whenever I got older and had my own house, I stopped watching scary things, and these guys kind of like got me back into it. So I'm pretty excited. I've been going ghost hunting with them and everything.
Because obviously there is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to an element of the film, without going into any more detail. But then you've got this other individual, this other character, the one in the blue boiler suit with the gas mask and essentially a Hessian sack, kind of a hood over it. I thought that was very original. I like that design for that character. It kind of spoke to me. It stood out. Was that your design? Was that
originally? I had this bright idea that we would, when she was running through the woods, that she would run into these mutant children.
Yeah,
and we were going to do all this CGI work, but we did a few attempts at it, and it looked absolutely horrible. So I'm like, well, we need another character to fill the void of who's chasing you. And throughout the movie, they're talking about all this like nuclear waste stuff. I came across this guy who made these like gas mask type scary masks.
Yeah,
so I'm like, oh, bingo, that kind of fits what we're doing. So I hired him to do the mask, and then I just got a jumpsuit, and there we go.
Oh, brilliant! So, were you pleased with that? I mean, because sometimes that's the best way. You get an idea doesn't pan out for you. In this case, the mutant children and the CGI that didn't work for you, and then you fell upon this. So, are you happy with that result over the? I mean, forget the fact of the CGI not working, but the idea of the mutant children. Would you rather have gone with that, or are you happy with the final?
Well, I'm completely happy with Adam Holmes played the part of the gas mask individual, but I still would have liked to have mutant children in there, but not do CGI, maybe like full body outfits. But
yeah,
that just cranks the budget up even more, and there's only so much money to spend.
yeah, absolutely. So the character of Nova and her journey through this film, obviously. You've enlightened me to the fact that there's actually a sort of semi prequel to it in the form of a short. Where can I see that?
It's on the DVD. I'll mail you one just so you have a copy, and it's on there as an extra.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Yeah,
that's the UK though.
I can do that.
So the character of Nova goes through this story. So Nick, your character, she goes through this story. She's affected by stuff in the past. She wants to come to terms with that. Now, I don't want to say too much in the form of spoilers here, but the last act of the film, there's a physical transformation in the character, in that she becomes more of a action heroine kind of a vibe to her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you feel that there is room for a sequel that could potentially tell a bit of backstory of that transformation? Because for me, watching the film, I get the impression that the character went out there with this knowing what she could be doing and going into, and had potentially got herself ready for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that something that
we had actually talked about, like, me carrying multiple things with me, like, to show that I was, like, prepared for battle, but I think we might have forgotten. I just now remembered to do that. But what happened there, I was looking, like, for something to wear, and I just grabbed whatever was in a drawer and I put it on.
Okay, all right.
And that's where that came from, but it's kind of hard to tell. It was really dark in there.
No, that's that
No,
kind
it's
of
just
sense. So would you be up for a sequel?
Yeah,
I don't think I'm allowed to say no.
She's contract bound now.
Yep. Everybody who works with him says once you're in for life. So
Oh, there you
like
go.
the mafia. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
So did you end it like that? Was that the intent?
Yeah, like you got to leave it on a cliffhanger. Like, what can she do now? So I figured if we do a sequel, it'd be her kind of more on a rampage and
Don't say too much.
Well, it'd just be diving deeper into this family. I mean, that's just a small taste of the loonies. I mean, we could really expand on that to a high degree.
No, that's fantastic. That'd be, So, what's your background then for film? Where? So you say you've been doing it for quite some time. Because another thing that impressed me in the movie, and I was looking at it, was a lot of the sort of camera angles. It didn't feel like very static. Like for me, if I was filming, it would probably be just like one single camera there. Do you know what I mean? You used multiple sort of, you had low shots, you had all this sort of stuff, an array of kind of. So have you background in film?
I actually went to college for film. I didn't graduate with a degree in it because you learn real quick that you don't need to go to college to make movies. You just need to make movies.
Yeah.
So I would just start making horror films and got distribution. So when you get distribution, you always think, "Oh, I made it. I'm big time." No, you're not.
Yeah.
Kind of just keep making them. So I did that for about 10 years of horror films, and we were doing okay. We were making enough back on them to make another one. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to do some documentaries.
Yeah.
I got into documentaries. I made quite a few of them, which were horror related or folklore related.
Okay.
And then I just kind of got tired of that. I'm like, let's go back and make a good old fashioned horror film.
Oh,
and
brilliant.
That's what we did,
We had a completely different plan, and then this is what we ended up with. So like I'm excited. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best laid plans of mice and men, as they say.
And it's as far as like camera work too, like I'm notorious for I hate tripods. Like I think your camera should always be moving.
Yes.
Like show me something, change something, like be creative with wherever you're at, do something. But static shots, you need your static shots. You need this and that.
Yeah.
But like you should always have that rev up to something. Like here it's quiet. Now it's chaos. It's quiet chaos. Like camera should be moving if there's chaos going on.
So was a lot of it handheld then?
Oh yeah, like complete guerrilla style. Yeah.
Okay.
Which sucks. It's hard to do. You're pulling lens focus constantly, and lighting better be there, and you're making your work 10 times worse, really.
So when you went out filming, how many of you were there as a group of people? How many people did you have there?
Sometimes it was just me and her.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like literally, we're like, let's go shoot, and here, do this, do that.
I think the day that we were at the farmhouse, there might have been like 8 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we like did everything in groups. We filmed 4 different scenes, and it was all like backwards too. So that was fun. Lots of different people coming and going.
But we actually shot all her stuff backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like all the bloody stuff we shot first, and then she had to go get cleaned up to shoot all the stuff with the guy that's dressed up like a woman.
Yeah.
Because of the scheduling was off.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So that's compromise. You have to compromise.
Yeah, no. Interesting. And is there an uncut version? Is there how much footage did you actually film for it?
I used everything. There is no extra.
Okay, so you were pretty tight you knew exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
and you went out and got that and
It-
and minimal.
The story about a girl on a hike, you can't draw it out too much longer. Like 80 minutes is probably cutting it just long enough, you know. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, it was a nice. I think I said that in my review, didn't I? It was a
you
nice
did.
sort of tight.
Yeah. So I couldn't imagine that being a 2-hour movie. It just, I don't think it would ever work because it's. There was a movie by, what was the girl's name? Reese.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yes, she did a movie about her drug addiction and did this whole hike. So
Wild.
No,
we
yeah,
went,
I know the film. Yeah,
so we kind of took that idea, like, what would happen if that was a horror version? You know?
yeah.
I've actually gotten to go to some spots on the PCT and the Bridge of the Gods that was in that movie. So that was kind of exciting. I got to kind of put that into my character.
Okay. So how many projects have you done then, Nick? Yourself with the shorts and that.
Myths and Mutants. I was in Mountain Devil 3.
I did. Well, not. I've seen it. I did see.
She's
That.
looking at the posters. She's looking at posters on the
he's
wall.
got, so I know what I was in.
I'd say about 3.
There was another one, I think. I can't think of it.
Oh, the Christmas movie. So
Oh.
4.
Down the chimney with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Down the chimney with a shotgun, brilliant. Superb. No, yes, it's. I was blown away with the film. I've got to say. I mean, like I said, I'm not a one for horror films, although I don't mind this type of a horror when it's essentially real people being hounded by real people, if that makes sense.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah, because there's an element of reality that could come into play in it.
That's why the Texas Chainsaw it's near and dear to my heart. Because
Yeah.
that's one of those horror films that could actually happen.
Yes.
You know, there's no space aliens or monsters. It's just reality. This could happen to someone.
Yeah. And that's what you went with this. Yeah.
Reality horror is the best, I think, really, to be honest.
I like that.
Yeah.
Reality horror.
Reality horror, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good term. That's a good term. Yeah. So, well, I don't think I've got any more questions for you, to be honest. I don't want to go too much into the film and everything, Joe, and spoil it for anyone that might be watching it.
It's out on DVD right now, streaming. It should be up next month on Amazon. And then VOD streaming probably over the summer.
That's what I was going to ask you, where people can catch it.
So
it's going on to Amazon, is it? Brilliant.
Yeah, next month it should be on Amazon.
The DVD does have some bonus features, though. We have behind the scenes, which he called behind the saw, and I thought that was very clever. And there's a commentary over the movie as well.
Oh, brilliant. Good stuff. So where can people get that DVD from? Because I'd like to link it into the description of this afterwards.
That would be legendhuntersfilms.com.
Okay. Legend Hunt, because I will add that.
I can always shoot that over to you.
Yeah, no, if you can, that'd be great. But yeah, no, brilliant stuff.
Thank you. It's hard when, independent filmmakers who have like $150 to their name and we're trying to make a movie and try to get it out to a public, which the horror films have been oversaturated with every kid with a camera now,
Yeah.
So how do you make your film stand out from everyone else's?
It's got to be very difficult.
Make it weird.
Make it weird and title it weird. That's the best advice.
Yes. Yeah.
Weird titles seem to work,
True. No, that's true. There's, the horror community is massive. Even on YouTube, the horror community is so big and so many subgenres within it.
I can tell you the second largest weird group is the Bigfoot community.
Bigfoot, yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's like a whole nother family of like misfits. I mean, it's just.
And you're one of them.
I'm one of them. I am, but it's just crazy how they're two similar worlds. And that group and this group, but horror is the best because it's the most creative. You can do just about anything with a horror movie.
Yeah,
and
no,
you've done Bigfoot horror. So.
I have done Bigfoot horror, so I mean.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look into these. So it isn't like Harry and the Hendersons, and
No, it's way worse.
but no. So let me wrap this up. So all I can say is that I enjoyed the film immensely. As you know, I was very surprised that I enjoyed it, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I said, horror's not generally my forte. I appreciate you reaching out to me with it. Keep me in mind when you do anything else.
Absolutely. I think our next film is, well, it's tentatively titled. You hate this title, I know.
Go on.
Do you hate it? Tentatively called "Cutting the Devil's Head Off."
Okay.
Tentatively.
Or Bazooka Bitch.
Or Bazooka Bitch. I'm not sure yet.
I think the second one's got more of a ring to it.
See, I told you. Bazooka Bitch. I knew it.
I also wasn't a big fan of the title "Guts on the Chainsaw," but it worked.
Yeah, it did.
It grew on me.
And Nikki, I enjoyed your performance in it, and the transformation into Lara Croft.
Well, thank you. I was actually in a lot of pain a lot of days that we filmed, and that was my first full-length film, so I didn't really understand how to apply the facial expressions and the emotion and I didn't quite understand until I saw it all, like the finished product.
Are you not happy with the finished product then? You're not happy? Do you not?
I am, but I know I could have done better, so I'm going to apply that to the next film.
Okay. And what do you mean you was in pain? The physicality of it?
I have issues with my back and my hips, so I was just in pain all the time. And I took time off of work because of it. And he's like, "You have all this time. Like, we should make a movie."
That's cruel.
It worked.
Yeah, no, it did work. It did. And I'll just say, if anyone wants to reach out to me and ask any information about yourselves, I can point them to you.
Appreciate it.
We'll get all the information down below. And yeah, so thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us. We totally appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate your time.
Appreciate your time.
And I will share this through my Facebook itself and some other groups as well.
Send the link. I'll pimp it out for you.
Brilliant. So if you just want to stay on, I'll end it. And anyone watching, sorry, I haven't read any comments because it was a comment-less interview. My lives are usually filled with comments. Do you know what I mean? And that's how you should do it. But they're not switched off, but I can't see them. I don't know what's been said or anything. Are you having a look?
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, Matt asked what horror films inspired you to start filming.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the first.
I was just having a look at what's there. And Gareth over at Video Tasties, he's quite good. He would probably be a good one to review your film or films.
Just tell him to send me a message.
There you go, Gareth, if you're watching. He's my nemesis on here.
Okay.
No, he's a good bloke. We just have a little back and forth going. Yeah, so like I said, thank you very much. So I'll end this. Please stay on because then we can just catch up afterwards. And yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching, everyone. And I shall see you all later. Take care. Goodbye.